Sliding in here. Sorry, you. Yeah. You don't have to have it on. You don't want to.
Is it? Do we have all the electeds that's here? Do we have a list of all the electeds?
So Councilmember Gennaro.
Need to write. Any of your council folks are here? I want to make sure we know.
Williams, Councilmember Gennaro.
Gennaro, what's up, brother?
Do you have your card? We've got the names of the other folks are right there.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you. And to the City Hall team showing their emotional intelligence by making sure we had a tent for the reporters. You know, we are a kinder, gentler administration. The former mayor would have kept you out in the rain. You know? And we just think differently on how we do business here. And just want to really thank my law partner, Adams and Adams Associates, you know. I was at Bayside yesterday.
I heard.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so just this is an exciting day for us, and you know I wanted to make sure we acknowledge everyone that's here. Of course, the Speaker of the City Council, Councilwoman Adrienne Adams, Queensborough President, one of the best jobs in the country, being the Borough President, Borough President Donovan Richards, and Councilwoman Natasha Williams, and Councilman Jim Gennaro. It's good to see you all here, and our electors, you know, my just good friend. We're going to do some good stuff together. Right, Edonis. Good to see Edonis that's here as well. Karen Haycock, CEO of Habitat for Humanity, New York City and Westchester. Just the level of humanity that they've shown throughout the years. We've done some great projects together. Where are you?
I'm right here.
We've done some great projects together when we were in Brooklyn, and now we're going to continue to do so right now. And my amazing Deputy Mayor of Operation, Mira Joshi, you know, for her work here and just continue to put pieces together as we're excited. We could not have a better time to be out here talking about inclement weather. You know, whenever there's a rainfall, even a drizzle, this community traditionally would just cross their fingers and hope that they did not have a flood or did not see their property destroyed. And that is why we're here. This is a powerful moment. It's a powerful moment for this community, and it's probably part of Councilwoman Adams' pledge of really dealing with this continuation of flooding in this community. Did not have proper sewer systems, did not have proper support. Administration after administration, broken promises with broken drains that led to broken walls and floors and flooding in the basements of these apartments. I know this community so well. 10 minutes from here is a place that I called home for many years. Southeast Queens is made up of hard-working homeowners, civil servants, middle-class New Yorkers that really, they're the stabilizing force of our city. And we both understood with our parents brought us to this community to really build a stable life. You know, Mom understood how important it was and how important it was to support hardworking, determined men and women and families in this community. And so here I am, almost 50 years later, not coming here as merely a resident, but as the mayor of the city of New York, finally dealing with the issues that have impacted communities like these for so long. And I know for many years this community deserved better, and today we are acknowledging we're on this pathway to make sure they get better. Parents and families should not have to struggle year after year just to make sure not only do they have a roof over their heads, but to make sure that their basements are not flooded. Year after year, storm after storms. And they should not be afraid every time they rain. You shouldn't have to cross your fingers and hope you don't have human waste that has overflooded in your basement or that you're dealing with a dangerous environment. And we're going to help families in this partnership and announcement that we're making today with Habitat of Humanity and my elected officials of how do we protect community and transform building for the future. This house that we have here behind us is one of the ways that we're looking to build towards the future and ensure that we just get it right. And first we want to talk about and celebrate the completion of a $50 million water infrastructure project. Too long. The sewers have been a problem in this community. Parents sprinting to empty their gutters every time it rains. Families who cannot sleep during the storm, as I mentioned, worried about overflows in the area. Donovan and Adrian, they know this so well, dealing and responding to these conditions. Working people who cannot get their jobs to the morning because of problems, losing all of your property because of the flooding that you see and witness in your basements. And so we're saying no more to that. And I want the people of Queens to know when you look up and see rain clouds, things are going to be okay because we're going to make sure that water does not settle in your community and on your streets. This is 6 miles of new sewers and water mains to Rochdale. So important on what this project has accomplished. New catch basins, new curbs and sidewalks, better roads. This is a total transformation of having to receive the complaints year after year. And we're improving the quality of life and making this community more resilient in our fight against climate change. Let's go hand in hand. So I want to commend the DEP, DDC, and DOT. For getting it right. Those guys in the yellow jacket and ladies in the yellow jacket, a complete partnership of our community coming together. And second, right here in this area, and I know Jessica, wherever she is, she's smiling because she's always talking about housing. Right here, you are seeing the start of an affordable housing revolution all over the city. We're beginning construction on a new project, Habitat Net Zero. We are beginning this project, and it's 16 passive houses. You'll walk past this house here, and you'll say, well, it's just one home that's blighted, but that is just not true. These houses that are blighted, that are empty, maybe a fire, no one repairs them. It attracts rodents, it attracts people hanging out, it attracts loitering, and it just attracts a level of bringing down the property value of a community. And Habitat for Humanity, they're doing something extremely humane. They're going to be built 16 passive houses that are affordable for families here in our community. The first new construction on land will be transferred to the Interborough Community Land Trust. We've been talking about this for a long time. We're finally making it happen. And so what does this mean in essence? It stays affordable. It does not leave the affordable pool. And this is going to be affordable for generations to come. And so, I am not a good singer, but I'll be clear. This land is your land. This land is my land. This land is made for who?
You and me.
Oh, there you go. And so we are really excited, Habitat for Humanity, for what you're doing. And this is just the beginning. All over the city, we're going to see this. We're going to build affordable housing that's going to last. And I was just really happy when we're finally able to land our major anchor for our housing plan, Jessica Katz, our chief housing officers, as well as HPD, NYCHA, and others who are on board to make this happen with the interborough community land trust. It's about putting the right team together, and part of that team is, just my partner over at HPD, my brother Adolfo. I know Adolfo's around.
Yes, sir,
so you know what? You got boyhead guys got to stand up for each other. Adolfo bringing that vision for so many years, and we want to continue to make it happen. So let me just turn it over to the other half of the law firm, Adams and Adams Associates, and just thank her for just being really a strong leader for our city. I'm so excited about the things we're going to do together and the leadership that this city deserves. We understand what people are going through because we went through what they are going through. So, Councilwoman Adrienne Adams, the Speaker of the City Council.
Thank you so much to my friend, my classmate, my co-leader on the other side of City Hall, and the other half of Adams and Adams. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for all the work that you do. This is a sunny day for us. The weather may be a little inclement, but our hearts are shining right now because this is happening right here, literally in my backyard. I live 5 minutes from here, next to a property that doesn't look too far from the way this one looks. But that property also is now going through a renaissance in Southeast Queens. So thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedule to visit my district, District 28, which we lovingly consider the Great 28. So with that, I thank again the mayor. He's no stranger to Southeast Queens. It's always great to have him back with us where he grew up. Many of you know that we did grow up in the same neighborhood, went to the same high school, and here we are together in co-governance for the city of New York. I still get a chill when I think about that. I'd like to also acknowledge my colleagues who are here today. Councilmember Natasha Williams, District 27 is here. And our committee chair for environmental protection, Council Member Jim Gennaro, is here as well. Thank you for being here in the district with us. I'll also acknowledge, as the mayor did, Deputy Mayor Joshi, Chief Housing Officer Katz, DEP Commissioner Agawala, DDC Commissioner Foley, DOT Commissioner Rodriguez, former colleague, I had to get used to that too, former colleague, and HPD Commissioner Carrion. Of course, I'll acknowledge my community board leadership here today. Community Board 10 Chair Betty Brayton is here, as well as Community Board 10 District Manager Karen Peterson. So we thank you for being here, and we thank you for your dedication always to our community board and to our community. Thank you to our partners, Habitat for Humanity New York and Westchester County, for being here. Here in Southeast Queens, whether you live in South Jamaica, South Ozone Park, or South Richmond Hill, residents for generations have often felt forgotten, overlooked, and marginalized when it comes to investments from the city that can address long-standing issues. Despite the best efforts of so many of our representatives, Southeast Queens, like too many other corners of our city, endured systematic disinvestment and neglect. We felt resigned to this fate as outer boroughs left behind to deal with disparities and inequity on our own for decades. That is one of the reasons that I ran for city council, because I was a constituent first and knew the condition of my community. But today is a new day. We have a mayor who comes from Southeast Queens. We have a city council speaker who was raised in Hollis and has lived in Jamaica for over 30 years. We have trailblazers who hail from Southeast Queens, now leading Queensborough Hall in the body of my little brother, Queensborough President Donovan Richards. We have a leader in Chancellor David Banks, coming from Queens, who leads the Department of Education, formerly from the Queens Public Library, and so many other institutions across this borough and throughout our entire city. I think it's safe to say that with this new administration and citywide leadership, we will never, ever forget our roots in Southeast Queens. We will not turn our backs on our neighborhoods that we call home and the communities that have empowered us to make history. Today, along with Mayor Adams, the Department of Environmental Protection, and the Department of Design and Construction, we are celebrating the completion of a nearly $50 million project to install 6 miles of new sewers and water mains in Rochdale Village. The constituents have said thank you, Mr. Mayor, personally, so I will say thank you with them for that personally. This is amazing, and it's a much-needed project. It's part of a $2.5 billion investment to alleviate flooding and revamp the drainage system in Southeast Queens. This particular project in my district spans 78 blocks and has been ongoing for the last 4 years with the help of my former colleague and Borough President Donovan Richards, of course. And it's finally done, Donovan. With our funding, it's finally done, nearly $6 million under budget. Under budget. All New Yorkers, including those who live in Southeast Queens, deserve to have modernized infrastructure in their neighborhoods. And as we confront the climate crisis, we must invest in areas like Rochdale, thank you, that have historically not received their fair share of investment. I'm also overjoyed that we celebrate here today the city, in partnership with Habitat for Humanity and the Interborough Community Land Trust, has started construction on the Habitat Net Zero project. We are transforming 13 vacant and blighted properties formerly owned by NYCHA into 16 new opportunities for long-term affordable homeownership right here in Southeast Queens. Affordable homeownership is an important component of increasing housing affordability in our city. Our residents deserve this opportunity to own their own homes and build equity that strengthens our communities and our city. For too many, these opportunities can seem out of reach, like a dream that never becomes a reality. This project is part of changing that narrative, and I'm proud to have allocated $200,000 in capital funding to support it, along with former council member Idanique Miller, who also allocated $200,000 to the project. This is not only an exciting announcement for Southeast Queens, but for the entire city. We're in the midst of an affordability crisis, as we all know, that has priced out families and destabilized our communities across this city. We need more initiatives like Habitat Net Zero to provide a solution to this long-standing crisis. We're modeling these partnerships right here today. So thank you again, Mayor Adams. Thank you to my colleagues in government, and thank you to all of our partners for making these important projects possible. We can't do it without your support. This is only the start, because Southeast Queens is on the rise, ladies and gentlemen. Southeast Queens is on the rise. This is only the start. I bring Southeast Queens with me everywhere I go, Betty and Karen. Everywhere I go, and it will always be my home. Thank you to you all, and I now introduce our Queensborough President, the Honorable Donovan Richards, Jr.
Thank you.
All righty. Well, I am not a member of Adams and Adams, but I am a member of GSD. Turn around, show them your jacket.
I like that.
The swag. All right, I would quote some 50 Cent at this time. Hate it or love it, the underdogs are on top. Since we're in South Jamaica, let's pay homage. But let me say this: what a wonderful, beautiful day. I know it's raining. I know the sun is not out, but it is really a beautiful day for this community. You know, we've talked about the issue around flooding for nearly 40 years in this community. Disinvestment, environmental racism, just to make it plain. You know, how many seniors, how many homeowners, time and time again, have had to rebuild their homes in this community on a day like this? Seniors who on a day like this, and there's still parts of this community as we speak, as it rains today, as we speak, whose basements are being flooded. It's injustice, environmental racism. I'm just going to say it again. But today is a great day because we are addressing many of the systemic issues that have impacted this community going back 40 years. And I have to give hats off to both DDC and DEP because let's give them a round of applause because they've done a lot of work to correct this inequity, and it goes back to our time in the council working with Adrian and both Danique Miller and now Natasha to bring this $2 billion home. Because guess what? The people in this community are taxpayers just like anyone else. They get up, they drive your buses, they drive your subways, they work in NYCHA housing, they run the city, and they deserve nothing less but to make sure to have investments like what we're seeing today. We talked a lot about this pandemic, Mr. Mayor, and I want to thank you because you've put your money where your mouth is, and you were out there at the height of this pandemic, and we talked a lot about why were these communities the most impacted during the pandemic. And you look at the common denominators, housing, flooding, healthcare, all of the inequities are what would push communities like this to feel more of the brunt of the pandemic. We talked about not just simply building back, Mr. Mayor, right, and Speaker Adams. We said coming out of this pandemic, we were going to build back better. And today is the true symbolism of where we're headed as a city. Queens is the future, let's be clear. And when you look at the work around what Habitat is doing today, the future, community land trust, get used to these three letters because guess what? This is the future of where we need to go as we talk about not just addressing the flooding, but also addressing the housing issues that we have in the city. We have to make sure that we're building generational wealth for people in this community. And we know that not far from here, as we see many parts of our city built up, that there's gentrification happening. And CLTs are one way to make sure that we preserve our communities, preserve the land, preserve the communities that were here when no one else wanted to come. We want to make sure that we're providing opportunities for our young people to come in and learn about home ownership and to own and to preserve and to be able to pass something down to the next generation. And that's the way you address the poverty issues in our city. Everybody's having these broad conversations around crime. You can have these broad conversations around crime, but you have to get to the root causes. And it's rooted in environmental injustice, rooted in also the issues around affordability in our city. So today is a great day. I look forward. I actually did carry the package of legislation in the council that enabled CLTs to come to fruition. It is a great day to see this happen. And working with my colleague Adrian as well and the mayor, we have this $2 billion fund that is being utilized for just Southeast Queens. This is the only place in New York City where you see a dedicated unit of workers just building out sewer infrastructure that should have happened 40 years ago. And Mr. Mayor, you know, anytime you come to Queens, you got to bring more money. So we're excited to have you. So we love this $2 billion, but we're going to be asking you to add on more money. And I wouldn't be doing my job as the borough president if I didn't do that. But thank you for your commitment. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. And we look forward to the continued work around environmental justice and making sure that affordable housing is tied into that. They both are linked. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mayor Adams and Speaker Adams, and thank you, Borough President Donovan Richards. Thank you to all of our electeds here today, all of our advocates, and all of our residents who wholeheartedly support and create moments like this. It starts with the community. It's your commitment to making a more livable city, and it starts with Southeast Queens, a more livable neighborhood. I'm Mira Zoshi, Deputy Mayor for Operations. I oversee the city's infrastructure. Most importantly, my number one responsibility is to make sure that our infrastructure works for the people of New York. That's maintain streets, sidewalks, safe buildings, energy, and as we can see today, clean running water that's running the right direction. Too often it's running the wrong direction in Southeast Queens. Today marks the completion of long overdue upgrades to the Southeast Queens underground water systems. For far too long, this neighborhood's sewer systems have been non-existent or outdated. And as Mayor Adams reminds us, Today marks work where we did not work in silos. We worked together. This is the work of DDC, DEP, and DOT working together to improve over 70 blocks, to vastly improve drainage from stormwater with miles of new storm sewers and miles of replaced storm sewers. I recognize that all too many of you know the sheer horror of sewage backup as well. And so to mitigate this, 9,200 feet of sanitary sewers were replaced and 600 feet of new sewer was added. Over 3 miles of water mains were replaced. That's insurance that the water will flow when needed. And to finish the job, nearly 500 square feet of roadway and 60,000 square feet 500,000 square feet of roadway and 60,000 square feet of sidewalk and nearly 20,000 feet of curb were reconstructed, and over 900 square feet of new sidewalk and 1,000 new curbs. But our water lines are not our only tool here in Southeast Queens. In addition, just north of this site, DEP has retrofitted Baisley Pond so that it can safely receive rainwater runoff during the storm. This approach is called Blue Belts. We have to use every tool possible to mitigate against the climate change, and we're not done. There are 24 more Southeast Queens projects currently in design and construction, totaling $1.7 billion. This is an extension of 4 trunk sewer lines and the expansion of our local neighborhood sewer systems. So again, I want to thank everybody whose commitment and drive and voices make today reality. I appreciate your patience as well. Living through construction is not easy, but the resiliency benefits are critical for your neighborhood and for the vitality of the city, which you are a critical part of. So thank you very much. Next, I'd like to introduce our wonderful Chief Housing Officer, Jessica Katz.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for having me today. I want to thank Mira. Good afternoon. Thank you to Mayor Adams and Speaker Adams and Board President Richards and all the other elected officials who are here today. I'm really enjoying getting to spend a day in your backyard. It's really something to be able to tell a family that they will soon be first-time homeowners. A lot of people have given up on the idea of homeownership in the city, especially here. We see the headlines every day about how expensive the city has become, and each week we hear more and more about parents choosing to raise their children someplace else. That shouldn't be the case. New York City is the best place to live and raise a family, and with investments in programs like today's Community Land Trust, we can turn the tide. We can house everyone, we can make homes affordable for New Yorkers. I want to thank the NYCHA and HPD teams for their work on these sites and pulling the financing together to make these programs feasible. Can we have a round of applause for the HPD and the NYCHA staff, please? Thank you. Some of them are here and we've known a very long time. To the team at the Interborough CLT, who is fighting to make homeownership a reality on our city, thank you for letting us be part of this program. And Karen Haycox is here from Habitat for Humanity. In Hauser language, we just call it Habitat for short, but I've never really thought too much about that second part of their name, Habitat for Humanity, and really focusing on the humanity part here today. I also, it's no secret that we have a serious housing shortage in the city, and that's why today's announcement really matters. It's these 16 homes, there's 16 families that will soon be building equity, putting down permanent roots in this neighborhood, and they'll know that they have a future in New York City for them and for future generations. That's what it'll take to house all of our neighbors. We'll have to utilize every type of development, every tool, every type of housing finance, and every program there is. We'll only solve this problem with the creative solutions like today's. So this is hopefully just the beginning. I look forward to coming back here in a couple years, maybe in nicer weather, and welcoming those 16 families to their homes. So thank you so much, and congratulations to the whole team. Thanks.
Thank you, Jessica. Next, we have the pleasure of hearing from William West. Come on. You want us to hold your bag? Yeah. I will keep it safe, too. You got the clipboard.
Well, first to our distinguished mayor and colleagues, we meaning me and my wife, we count it a privilege and an honor to be able to have been invited to share our story as it relates to the Southeast Queens Initiative. Here we are today to commend the Department of Environmental Protection and the Department of Design and Construction for their progress they have made in the installation of the comprehensive drainage system in Baisley Boulevard. Yay!
Big deal.
Big deal. You don't know. Now, we've lived in the neighborhood for 40 some odd years. So we've seen and experienced flooding in streets and basements. So we were both delighted and relieved when we heard about the Southeast Queens Initiative. So much so that we decided that I should photograph this historic event. Now, what exactly did they do that positively affected the quality of our life? One, and this, what I'm about to say, I did not know that this gentleman would be here today. First thing they did, which is extremely important, they provided detailed information through the community construction liaison, Mr. Philip Stafford. He was the point man for handling any concerns the homeowners might have had. If you called him, he will come to your home and explain everything pertaining to the project that you did not understand. That's critical, especially when you're coming to a neighborhood that we have no understanding of what you are about. Number two, the replacement of the water mains. Now, at this point, I feel like I might be a little bit redundant because a lot of what's been said, I'm saying it again. But this piece wasn't said. The previous water mains, here it is, the previous water mains dated back before World War II. So you know, we had real deep problems. And this is why it is historic. Number three, the new storm sewers, I'm told they are scheduled to put in 8,200 feet of new sewers and added 3,700 new combined sewers to the neighborhood. Now, our neighborhood has grown exponentially, so that is extremely significant. Catch basins, new guarded curbs and sidewalks, new fire hydrants. With the increased numbers of the residential fires, we actually needed new fire hydrants. I will close with this. We thank God. No anxiety, no fear, no property loss. As we stand here today, okay, it could have been anxiety, fear, and property loss. But we don't have that today. Now, when the rainstorms are predicted, we are not worried about sludge coming up in our basement sinks anymore because of the new, and fortunately, you didn't say this part.
I'm sorry. I said it for you.
Because of the new graded curbs and sidewalks that help guide the storm water to the new areas catch basins, which ensures adequate street drainage during storms. So we are thankful, and we look forward to the completion of this entire project. Dear, I don't know if you want to say anything.
Yes, it was. We were so happy to see the workmen when they started pulling up in the trucks and the tractors, and we were just so excited. They're going to do our neighborhood. They're going to do our neighborhood. Thank God. So we are so happy. They did the work. They returned the neighborhood to how it was, and the streets are even better. We thank God for them, for all the hard work. They moved mountains, and we saw it every day, and we are so thankful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. West, who are now, I think, engineers after all of that. Next, we have Karen Haycock, CEO of Habitat for Humanity.
The big finish. Thank you, Mira. Thank you, everybody. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, right? I know it doesn't feel like it, but it is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Thank you all for coming today and being part of it. You are now all part of the Habitat family. Thank you to the people in the yellow vests who do the unsung work of all of this stuff that we build on. Thank you so much. Thank you to the homeowners and home buyers in this neighborhood. Thank you to the electeds. Housing really is a team sport. I think if we have told you anything today, we have told you that. Housing and community is a team sport, and it calls for a good team captain. And I'm really deep in a sports analogy that's probably way over my head, but it calls for a good team captain and a lot of utility players along the way. And so from all of us at Habitat for Humanity, from all of us at Interborough Community Land Trust, for the generations of families who are out there right now living in substandard conditions, doing everything right, for those families that will call this spot home and 12 other sites like it across 16 units of housing around Southeast Queens, thank you. To those people that you can't yet meet today, thank you to HPD, my team players, utility players in the backdrop who really link arms with us and do this work every day. So thank you for being with us today. You are now officially deputized as members of the Habitat for Humanity team. We expect to see you out here and welcoming the families to the neighborhood. Thank you all. I'll turn it back to our fearless team captain, to torture my analogy a little bit.
We'll do a few on topics.
Mr. Mayor, yeah, we're talking about 16 houses, passive and net zero, but when it comes to meeting our really ambitious in the city net zero goals and climate goals, how are you planning on taking this kind of formula to a massive scale in the city?
I will give you 2 words, Jessica Katz. She'll roll that out for you. Okay, folks, we're gonna do some more topics, so y'all can bounce, so you don't get caught up in the haywire.
Good to see you, brother. Good to see you.
Okay, good job. Yeah. Good to see you also. How are you? It's a good pickup. Good pickup. Take care. Thank you. Take care. Good to see you. Yes. Please, power prayer. Power prayer. Come on, do a few more topics. Hold on. Go ahead, grab your topic. Okay, good seeing you, Councilwoman.
All right. Yeah, go ahead. Can you talk about a little bit about your chocolate milk ban? You're getting some pushback from Democrats and Republicans about your plan to ban chocolate milk in schools.
Well, I did not make an announcement of banning chocolate milk in schools. People are getting ahead of the conversation. We, as many of you know, we're going to look at nutritional values in school food. And as we roll out how we're going to do it, we'll make those announcements. What I'm not going to allow to happen is for the rumor mill to be my policies. When that determination is made, I will roll out what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it. The goal is to stop feeding the healthcare crises. And so Democrats and Republicans supported smoking. We found that that was wrong. So we're going to make the right decisions, and we will roll out them officially and not through the rumor mill.
Thank you. Mayor, it's somewhat early, but what's your assessment right now of the subway safety plan? In full disclosure, we came here from the scene of the latest incident on the subway at 14th Street. The people there said they're still going to ride the subway. They said they feel okay overall, but still feel a need for a greater guarantee from the city that they can be safer going forward. What would you say to that?
Well, the crises we're witnessing in our subways, I'm going to say this over and over again, are generational in the making, generational of neglect on those who did not have proper housing, generational of ignoring some of the common problems, generational of feeding the crises in the subway. So to expect in 2 weeks that all of a sudden you're going to turn around a generational issue is just not realistic. But what we are doing, we're doing 500 end-of-the-line interaction with people who are homeless on our subway system, 150 connections a day with our team, ejecting those who are breaking the laws, dismantling all of the encampment that was ignored. Think about that for a moment. We have ignored encampments on our system. We're not doing that anymore. We're ignoring people being on the subway system that can't take care of themselves. So the waves that we are moving forward of identifying the problems, dismantling those problems, you're going to see a different subway system. What I'm saying to New York is we are not going to have generational failures anymore. It's going to start under this administration, and I'm taking full responsibility of having a safe subway system because I'm a user of that subway system.
Thanks, sir.